supply system. So these all are not needed. Simply we will provide the electrical signal and it will actuate. And what is the drawback in comparison to the uh, hydraulic and uh, pneumatic actuators? Any student can give the answer. The main disadvantage of this electrical actuators in comparison to mechanical is that the load bearing capability is low in the electrical actuators as compared to hydraulic and pneumatic, because the the energy required for load bearing, high load bearing is low in the hydraulic, because in this the load will be driven by the air or hydraulic pressure. However, in the electrical system, if we want to move the same load, we will need the high load current. Okay, so high power requirement. Okay, so now we move to the bimetallic strip. So bimetallic strip is a type of actuator where we will provide the electrical current to the bimetallic strip, and there is unequal expansion of the two types of metals. There are two types of metals. If the copper and iron are uh, placed parallel to each other and they are at the room temperature, then what will be the expansion? There will be no any expansion, and they will in the increase in the length will be same for both the metals. Okay, however, if the temperature is increased, so there is a certain value of linear temperature expansion coefficient. Okay, so here you can see a term, linear temperature expansion coefficient. So higher the alpha L, higher will be the increase in the length for certain increase in the temperature. Okay, so the increase in the length with increase in the temperature, you can see here alpha. If alpha is high, then the increase in the length for certain increase in temperature will be high. So two different metals will act differently for this change in the temperature. So whenever this is heated, so maybe the copper is expanding higher than the are not bonded together. They will increase the length as shown in the figure B. You can see. Can you see the figure B, students? Students, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in figure B, you can see that there is a del X increase in the length of the copper strip. Now, suppose they are bonded together and they are free. They are not fixed at any end. So, what will be the what will be the type of shape when they are bonded together? So, one of the strip will expand lower, and one of strip will expand higher. So the length of the upper strip has increased and lower strip has not increased. So there will be a relative motion and the strip will take a curved form. Suppose now the strip is the one end of strip is fixed at one end. Okay, so here you can see that there will be a change in position. Okay, at the other end. So here you can see the electrical circuit that whenever we are giving the supply to this bimetallic strip through a electrical current, Suppose we have given the 5 volt supply, and as soon as the 5 volt supply from the controller is given to some relay, okay, or some you can say bimetallic strip, some driver. So driver will step up the voltage value, okay, and this higher voltage value will be given to the flow the current in the bimetallic strip. So one of the temperature coil will be there. Suppose that it is tungsten heating element, and you have given the supply to this tungsten heating element. Then what will happen? This strip will be heated, and when the strip is heated, a movement at this end contacts will occur there. Okay, so actually the electrical signal has actuated in the terms of mechanical movement. Okay, now here you can see the relays and contactors. In relays and contactors, the working principle is same. There are thermal relays and electromagnetic relays. In thermal relays, what you see, when you provide the uh, supply to the bimetallic strip, you provide the uh, current to this tungsten heating element in the bimetallic strip. A contact, electrical contact may uh, turn on and turn off. So this same principle is used in the thermal relays. Electromagnetic relays. In electromagnetic relays, you have given a supply to the this coil, and this will attract a plunger. Then this plunger will uh, turn on or turn off the certain contacts. So here you can see in the normal position without the supply, contact, the right side contact is on, and when the supply is given, the left side contact will turn on. Okay, so this is the working principle for relays and contactors. So now we come to the AC servo motor. AC servo motor is generally used in the precise angular velocity control, and this is basically the two-phase induction motor with a certain change in the design. Here you can see a AC supply is given to here in the stator. Two phase windings are available, and both the windings are given with the AC supply. One AC supply is fixed magnitude, and another AC supply has variable magnitude. Whatever the magnitude of the control voltage from the servo amplifier, this will provide the proportional speed or rotational angle. Okay, so the both the supply, both the coils are 90-degree displaced in the periphery, and the supply in the both the coils are 90-degree phase displaced. Okay, so once we have given, suppose we have given at zero phase fixed input supply, we have given the fixed input supply at zero phase. Okay, so after 90-degree phase, we will provide the control voltage, which is also AC. So the magnitude of control voltage, so peak value of control voltage may be changed, and according to the peak value of control voltage, there will be a rotation. Okay, so I can show you here. So students, any confusion at this part?
No.
So regarding the details of this portion, you have to go through some certain books, and suppose you have given the, you have this AC supply, fixed AC supply, which is at zero phase. Okay, here zero phase, and if you give the 90-degree displaced supply, AC supply from here, then it will be exactly same as the, you have seen the two phase single phase AC servo induction motor. Single phase induction motor is actually the capacitor start and capacitor run induction motors. Okay, so here you can see that uh, this capacitor generates a 90-degree phase displacement. Okay, 90-degree phase displacement, and two windings are 90-degree space displaced. So here you can see the one winding, and this first and second winding is 90-degree space displaced, and also the supply is pi by 2 displaced. Okay, so whenever this is the fixed supply, and you can change the voltage of this supply. You will keep the phase 90-degree with the phase of this fixed supply, but you can change the magnitude of this phase, this supply, display supply. So as soon as if you are not giving this supply, or a magnitude of this phase display supply is zero, so what will happen? There will be no any rotation. Theta equal to 0. There will be theta dot is 0, means there will be no any rotation. However, if you change the voltage, if you increase the voltage, and this is also the AC, a certain speed will be taken by the motor. So this is the working principle of AC servo motor. And the AC servo motor has certain range of operating frequency. Suppose see, in simple induction motor, the V by F, V or F control is there. Either you can change the voltage, or you can change the frequency, or you can change the voltage and frequency both. So suppose you have used the 50 hertz supply, and you are changing the voltage here. Okay, so mm, the when you use the higher frequency, higher speed will be there, and when you use the lower frequency, lower speed will be there. Okay, so according to the frequency, there will be a RPM of the motor. Okay, so this AC servo motor is generally used in the uh, closed loop control system, and there is a certain structure of the rotor, and this is the drag cup type, and the length of the rotor is comparatively higher than the uh, radius of this rotor. Okay, so you can see now you have the synchros, you have the DC servo motors. So in the DC servo motors, the DC servo motors simply work in the principle of uh, simple DC motor, and it may be different types. Suppose it is field controlled motor, or it is permanent magnet motor, and you have given a fixed supply to the armature, and as soon as you change the field in the rotor, uh, there is a proportional change in the uh, uh, speed or angle. Okay, so in the permanent magnet motors, you can simply control the speed or position of this motor by changing the armature voltage. But in field controlled motors, DC motors, you can change the position or velocity using both the controls, field control as well as armature control. So you can study the basic theories and diagrams of this simple DC motor by books. Here you can see that the closed loop explanation of this DC motor is that you have angular velocity omega, which is integrated, and 1 upon s, and which gives you the theta. Now you have ZB omega, and you change this. Sorry, the explanation of this is the expression for 1 upon j te minus TL, and minus uh, b omega. ओके, सो जो भी आपका टीई निकलता है, इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक टॉर्क, डेवलप इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक टॉर्क माइनस 1 upon j, and there is a closed loop. ओके, सो ये आप ये क्लोज लूप स्टडी कर लीजिए उसका डीसी मोटर का. दैट इज सिंपल as you have studied in simple control system. And another is the synchros. What happens in synchros? आप इसका जो थ्योरी है पूरा एक्सप्लेनेशन और ये पूरा इक्वेशन वगैरह, सिंपली here you have given in the rotor AC supply. Okay, so AC supply, this is rotor has given any certain position. Suppose we have given a certain position to this rotor, and we want to generate the angular position at the other end. Okay, so according to this position, different magnitudes of the voltages will be generated in coil 1, 2, and 3 here, because the supply to the R1, R2 is AC supply. So a proportional three-phase displaced supply in S1, S2, S3 will be generated. Now this supply comes to here, and if we give the DC supply to this rotor in the control transformer side, here you can see that in the right side of your right side, you can see a rotor. If you give the supply to this rotor coil, and a field winding, the S2, S3, and S1 is energized from the induced supplies, three-phase induced supplies. Okay, then uh, this second half will take the certain rotor position. Okay, so depending on the input supply magnitude, if we change the AC supply magnitude to this primary rotor, the change in there will be a change in the angular position of this secondary rotor. Okay, so this is also a type of actuation. Okay, so students, what is your assumption? What should be added in addition in this content? Actually, there is a, different analysis and equations related to each system, and you can study from different books, and it can be seen in the um, Nagrath Gopal book, control system book, and also another is you have a stepper motor. So in the stepper motor, what you see here, there are two types of stepper motors: permanent magnet stepper motors and reluctance stepper motors. Okay, so I first discuss how the reluctance stepper motors are working. Suppose here you have the three phase supplies. Okay, three supplies, and suppose this is coil A, and after you have a rotor here. Okay, and okay, so suppose here there are three stacks. If you see the side view of this motor, okay, suppose there are four uh, poles in the rotor, and there are three stacks. Okay, if you see by side view, there are three stacks. Okay, so here one winding is this, second winding, third winding. Okay, so phase A, phase B, phase C. Okay, and you have uh, this teeth of the second stack, and this is the teeth of the first stack, and this is the teeth of the uh, third stack. Okay, so once you give the supply to uh, suppose you have given the supply to the uh, coil A, then this stock, suppose stock A, B, and C is there, and the teeth 1, teeth 1, 2, and 3. Okay, suppose when you give the supply to A, coil A, then teeth 1 will come in front of the phase A. Okay, so it will be aligned. Okay, now suppose after phase A you have given the supply to phase B, then what will happen when you give the supply to phase B? This stack has this position, and if you see uh, front view, the coil V are also same place, and coil C is also in the same axis. But if you see the sidewise, there is, this is the shaft position, this is shaft, and if you see in the side, you can see here that there is a uh, axial placement of the coils. Okay, so when you energize the phase B coil, this rotor tooth uh, 2 will come in the front of this phase B coil. Okay, so one step movement has completed. Okay, again you energize the phase C coil. When you energize the phase C coil, now after energization of B, the 2 is in this position. Okay, the new position of the 2 is tooth 2 has come here, and tooth 1 has come here, the new position after this, and the tooth 3 is here, and now you energize the coil C. When you energize the coil C, there will be a reluctance force to move the rotor in this direction. Okay, so as you energize the supply coil C, you get the alignment of rotor tooth 3 in the direction of coil axis C. Okay, so the new position after this will be the new position after this. This is coil C, and this is rotor tooth 3. This is 2, and this is 1. So suppose there are 4 poles. Okay, so how many once you repeat in phase A, B and C, you repeat, then how many degree you can change? The total number of steps possible are you have a total number of possible steps are number of tooth, that is 4, into number of stalks, that is 3. Okay, and number of uh, here you divide by 360 by 4 into 3. Okay, so each step will be of 30 degree. Okay, clear? So each step will be 30 degree. Steps in the degree will be given by number of phases or number of number of phases or number of stocks is same, and this is number of teeth per stock. So 4 teeth are there. Okay, and each stock has 4 teeth, and there are 3 stocks. 3 stocks will have 3 phases. तो उसमें क्या करेंगे आप? अगर फ्रंट व्यू देखा जाए तो all the 3 coils are at the same position, but if you see the sidewise, they are axial displacement. Okay, ये सेम रेडियल पोजीशन पर हैं. ओके, और यहाँ पे क्या है? रेडियल डिस्प्लेसमेंट है. So this is the theory of stepper motor. Each time you give the supply to the different coils, you will get the appropriate number of steps. Okay, so faster you change the sequences, faster you will get the changes in the your steps. Okay, so once you give the supply to this coil, first stack will be aligned. Next, this is supply. Coil A is de-energized and coil B is energized. Then stack B will be aligned. In third condition, you de-energize both the supplies, coil A and B, and you energize coil C. Then stack C will be aligned. Okay, so once after this alignment, you again give the supply to phase A or coil A. Then again this slot, this 1 dash, suppose this is 1 dash, 1 dash will be aligned to the coil A. Again 2 dash will be aligned, and 3 dash will be aligned. So in each change of the supply, you get a certain step, and in whole of the 360 degree, you have total 30 degree of each step and total 12 steps. Okay, clear hai? You can get the
सर ये 360 कैसे
steps.
है सर?
Yes.
सर 360 कैसे हुआ सर?
क्यों?
क्योंकि दो पोल के बीच में सर 180 डिग्री इलेक्ट्रिकल डिस्प्लेसमेंट होता है।
हम की बात कर रहे हैं, अगर आप एक बार सप्लाई चेंज करते तो कितना चेंज आएगा? सपोज दिस इज 90 डिग्री, दिस इज टोटल हाउ मेनी डिग्रीज? दिस इज टोटल 360 डिग्रीज. ओके,
तो ये तो
एक
मैकेनिकल
बार
है ना
जब
सर?
यस,
ये तो मैकेनिकल डिग्री है ना सर?
तो तुम्हारे हिसाब से कितना आएगा एक स्टेप?
सर मैकेनिकल या इलेक्ट्रिकल?
मैकेनिकल डिग्री.
मैकेनिकल तो सर 360 टोटल है बाई ये पोल्स को डिवाइड कर दूं तो जितने पोल्स वो रोटर पे हैं तो उस हिसाब से मैकेनिकल आ जाएगा सर। लेकिन ये वाला जो समझा रहे हैं वो थोड़ा सा नहीं समझ में आ रहा है सर। ये जो ABC जो आपने लिखा है ना सर,
Yes.
तो इसके रिस्पेक्ट में नहीं समझ में आ रहा है वो वाला पार्ट।
बता रहा हूँ.
थोड़ा सा क्योंकि 3D में बता रहे हैं सर, इसलिए थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है वो वाला पार्ट।
Suppose you have this first stack. Okay, there are three stacks in the shaft. You can see, I will tell you. You have this center of the shaft, and if you see the side view of this rotor, you have this type of structure. Rotor stacks are there. So see here, suppose this is the surface of the rotor stocks, and here one teeth is there. Okay, one teeth is here. In this stock, one teeth is here. Okay, and in this stock, this teeth is here. Okay, clear? So here you can see that there is a certain displacement in a teeth of each stock. Suppose ki there is angle theta here, and there will be a change, small angular change, relative change in the same teeth in stock B. Okay, stock A, B, and C. So once you have energized the this coil, suppose A, then this teeth is aligned to this coil. Okay, now when this teeth is aligned here, the teeth in the B comes in this position. Okay, new position is theta degree movement is here. Okay, so the new teeth position is this. Okay, and now you energize the coil B, then this teeth will be attracted to this direction. Okay, and the rotor will move. Suppose now this in two steps. After this step, this has come, and at that time this position was that, and after the energization of B, the new position of the teeth in the C stack is this, and now you energize the coil C, then this will attract to the, अब हम आपको दिखाते हैं कि how the front view is there. Suppose this is stack B. Okay, in stack B you have energized the coil A, and this is teeth 1 of stack A. Okay, then what will happen? If you energize this, you will get a angular displacement to align this in this position. Okay, so new position of this is this. Okay, so in first stack there was a change in the angular position. Now you see that from the same angular displacement, second stack will also rotate. Now suppose that previously the rotor B stack has the position of, teeth position was this. Okay, now after giving the supply to A, the new position of this stack B teeth is here. Okay, this is 2B. Okay, after energization of phase A, the new position is 2B. Then you energize the phase B here. Then there will a force in alignment. Okay, now तो ये एक स्टेप, अगर इसमें अगर 4 पोल हैं, if you have 4 poles, then in suppose you have given supply to phase A, then you have given the supply to phase B. Okay, and then you have given the supply to phase C. तो एक फेज में यहाँ पे each change will provide the displacement of 30 degree. तो टोटल इसमें जो इसका एंगुलर चेंज है 1 स्टेप, ये फार्मूला ही है कि 1 स्टेप कितना है, टोटल 360 डिग्री में 1 2 3 4 पोल हैं और 3 फेज हैं. ठीक है, आउट ऑफ टोटल 360 डिग्री you have 4 teeth per stalk and you have 3 stalks. 3 stalks are phases. तो 1 step equal to 360 डिग्री में कितने टोटल स्टॉक्स हैं और कितने उसमें पर स्टॉक स्टेप्स हैं, टीथ हैं. तो 360 बाई 360 डिग्री बाई 4 into 3. Suppose you have 4 phases and 8 teeth per stalk or per phases. तो क्या होगा, suppose that you have 8 number of stalks, 8 number of teeth, and you have 5 number of stalks, then the angle will be 9 degree. Okay, so 9 degree angle will be there. तो ऐसे ही हम क्या करते हैं कि you have multiple stalks and multiple phase bindings in the stepper motor and you can get the, अब जैसे कि suppose you want to change the displacement of 2 electrical degrees, मतलब 2 steps at once. तो 2 स्टेप्स के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा आपको? डायरेक्ट आप फेज ए से बी में सीक्वेंसिंग करेंगे, ए बी सी, तो एक एक स्टेप मूव करेगा। अगर आप ए से डायरेक्ट सी को एनर्जाइज करो तो वो 2 स्टेप्स ले लेगा, समझ गए? व्हेन यू एनर्जाइज द फेज ए, देन this will align 1A, and 2 steps away there is the T position of phase C। तो जब आप C को डायरेक्ट वो करते हो तो ये 2 स्टेप्स को ले लेगा। आप यहाँ से फेज A को अलाइन करने के बाद इसकी नई पोजीशन यहाँ पे आ गई, एंड देन व्हेन यू एनर्जाइज कॉइल C, ये 2 स्टेप्स को मूव कर देगा। ओके, तो आप इसकी स्टडी कर लेना through the Nagar Gopal books. So I think all the parts of this electrical actuators, DC motor, DC servo motor, synchros, and relays, contactors, all has been covered. Okay, so students, what is your feedback on this lecture? किसी ने पहले सिंक्रोज वगैरह कभी पढ़ा है? आप लोग तो एमटेक के हैं, बीटेक में तो सिंक्रोज और वो पढ़ा होगा।
तो वो बल्ब वाला
में तो एक
एक जो लैंप बल्ब वाला मेथड और सिंक्रोज ये सब एक साथ था सर।
तो सिंक्रोज में सिंपली क्या होता है कि एक एसी सप्लाई रोटर में देते हैं और तीनों फेजेस में इंड्यूस करता है। वो अलग अलग 3 फेज डिस्प्लेस्ड, किसी मैग्नीट्यूड कम होगा, किसी में ज्यादा होगा, ठीक है ना, अकॉर्डिंग टू द डायरेक्शन। जैसे कि अगर एसी सप्लाई उस कॉइल के सेम डायरेक्शन में है तो उसमें तो मैक्सिमम मैग्नीट्यूड जनरेट होगा। ओके, और दूसरे में क्या होगा, उसका जो फेज डिस्प्लेसमेंट है वो कम होगा, फेज डिस्प्लेस्ड होगा दूसरी कॉइल में जो सप्लाई है। तो अकॉर्डिंग टू द मैग्नीट्यूड इन ऑल द induced voltage in all 3 coils, you insert the voltage in the receiver। तो जो भी वोल्टेज है उसका एक रिजल्टेंट वोल्टेज बनेगा कि अगर ए में ज्यादा वोल्टेज है और बी में कम है और सी में कम है तो ए साइड अट्रैक्ट करेगा रोटर को। तो अकॉर्डिंग टू द position of transmitter or according to the voltage input in the rotor of transmitter, you can get the position in the secondary side or receiver। तो ये भी एक, this is also a type of actuation, clear? On in the servo motors, you get the according there is a AC सर्वो मोटर एंड डीसी सर्वो मोटर, ठीक है? तो एसी सर्वो मोटर इंडक्शन मोटर के प्रिंसिपल पे वर्क करती है और डीसी सर्वो मोटर डीसी मोटर के प्रिंसिपल पे वर्क करती है, ठीक है? तो आप ये लोग ये स्टडी कर लेना। स्टेपर मोटर है तो स्टेपर में एक एक स्टेप करके प्रिंटर वगैरह में होती है। तो यहाँ भी मतलब प्रिसाइज कंट्रोल एप्लीकेशन होता है और एक एक डिग्री में चेंज होना है, उसके लिए स्टेपर मोटर यूज होती है। क्लियर है? तो चलो फिर इसको जो है queries you can ask at this time, and the portion of actuators has now. Next lecture I will deal with the sensors। अभी जाना मत, रुको, पहले अटेंडेंस पहले रख लें। तो 9 अप्रैल की अटेंडेंस हो गई है और ये रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ हो गई है। चलो।